So the music that you can hear in the background is a plant that's actually singing. Hey Serena, I have a box. It's a machine, and what it does is through an algorithm, it converts the electromagnetic pulses or frequency from the plant through the algorithm, and it converts it into a sound, and it plays it through a speaker. So, given the topic of today being spirituality, consciousness, and Christ consciousness, I thought it appropriate to have the music of the plants in the background, as it's all interconnected. Hey Lordy, hey Josh. So yeah, the title of today's chat is spirituality, or what is spirituality, what is consciousness, and what is Christ consciousness. And the reason that I've decided to do this video tonight is because I've had the question come up a few times to me. I've seen it in a few comments, and what I'm sharing is my view and my beliefs on what they are, what spirituality, consciousness, and Christ consciousness is, and how they're related, and also how they're a little bit different. The reason I want to do this video also is because when people hear the word spirituality, some people they shy away from the word, or they have some preconceived ideas or connotations attached to the word, and I just wanted to bring some clarity onto what the word actually means, and how I came into it. Basically, my journey through life. The last sort of 8 years, I was in the military, and coming out of that was very difficult to transition and to relate to people, and to myself as well. So yeah, I found through spirituality, the word, it helped me to find myself, and I'll talk about that a bit more in a minute. I'm just mindful of these feathers and the candles in the background. I hope they don't catch a light. I hope this wind stays down. I'm just going to show you the plant that's actually singing at the moment. So this is the plant. I bought it today. She hasn't been named yet, so if anyone's got a good name, maybe throw it in your comments. And this is the box that plays, that has the algorithm and converts the electromagnetic frequency into sound, and there's the speaker. Hey Diffie, Trophy, Kylie, Nikki, Kate. Yeah, so back to spirituality, and why again I'm bringing this information out. You know, one thing I heard in a song once by a rapper or R&B singer, Immortal Technique, and it said, "Universal truth is not measured by mass appeal." And that really stuck to me, and that rang true with me. You know, I know who I am, I know where I come from and where I'm going, and I know what I'm here to do in this life. Yeah, and I also know that not following my truth and following my true path, I feel that the consequences of that are maybe much more everlasting than if I don't. So You know, I know that I have a limited time in this time and space, and I need to do what I'm here to do. Otherwise, you know, we have eternity to deal with that at a later stage. But spirituality. So I'm going to start with that word, spirituality, and basically what it means to me is it's the act or the knowing. It's pure self-awareness on a fundamental scale. It's being able to feel and direct energy within your body, within yourself. And I mean feel on a cellular level. I mean feel energy moving through your body. I don't mean I'm sore from the gym. I mean literally feeling and experiencing your own energy within your body, and learning how to direct that energy. It's also about being aware of your elemental structure, and what I mean by that is that, again, I speak about the earth and the cosmos, and you know, I believe that this is where we come from. You know, without the earth and the nutrients, we're not here. We don't exist, because we need that in our food to give us the proteins, the enzymes, and everything. To keep us alive, really. So it's also being aware of yourself elementally, and what you're made of. It's being in touch with your emotions, and this can be quite confronting for people. We spend a whole lot of time. Well, some of us spend a lot of time trying to block out our emotions and trying to run away from our emotions, or disguise them through whatever means. But it means being in touch with your emotions and allowing them to flow freely. And it's exploring and looking for that thing within you that connects you to the planet and to the cosmos. It's linking these things together. That is what spirituality is. It's not an external force. It's not something that, you know, we need to search for. It's something within us all. We all hold it, and it's available to tap into at any time. It's also being in tune with one's mind and body and heart, and the connection between the mind and the body and the heart and the soul. So in a nutshell, that's my take on spirituality and my belief. I'm just looking for any comments on spirituality. If anyone's got any comments on that, thoughts, questions, please type them into the comments. And Josh, that's so rad. Darren, my brother was in Royal Engineers, he had the same problem. Yeah, it's a common problem, and what Darren's referring to, I believe, is the reconnecting to the self and reconnecting to the family and community after coming out of certain instances or careers. Trothy, I'm not going to read that one out. Serena, in my opinion, spirituality can be considered a religious process that aims to recover an original shape of humankind based on the image of a god or a divinity, considering the deepest values of the considering the deepest values of the society in which we live. In my opinion, spirituality is built inside cultural structures, and not always a spiritual person is a aware person, a conscious person. Yeah, so spirituality can be considered a religious process, and it can be considered a religious process and seen as a religious process by people, but in fact, in my opinion, it's far from a religious process. What it is just a belief in oneself and coming into tune and in touch with oneself. You don't have to have any external beliefs. It's basically just coming back into yourself and finding out what you are and who you are and where you come from. Okay, so if there's no other comments or questions, I'll move on to one last thing with spirituality and the time we're in. I believe that in this time and space, it's more important than ever to be in touch with your spirituality, because we tend to find ourselves maybe not doing what it is that we want to do, or saying what we want to say through fear of external opinions or external voices, and that's a form of mind control. Your mind is literally being controlled by fear. If you're not standing in your own power, in your own ground, and being true to yourself, then you're being true to somebody else. And in this time and space, I think it's the right time for people to reconnect to themselves. So I'll move on. DeFry, what have you got? Spirituality to me is finding that inner peace and inner guidance within ourselves. Absolutely, bro. Finding inner peace and inner guidance, and the inner guidance is what we need to listen to. That's what makes us who we are, makes us individual, and that's very important. Hey, Jono. So I'll move on to consciousness. I'm just reading my notes because I get a lot of this stuff comes into my mind, and if I don't write it down, it gets lost in translation or gets jumbled up. So consciousness, in my opinion, is being aware of an energy of a metaphysical nature, and it's knowing that there's a connection beyond that of the physical realm, or the 3D realm, the realm that we live in every day, and it's part of that realm. It's not separate. It's just that we cannot perceive it with our 5 senses, so it takes a little bit more to tap into this. Consciousness is a connection between you and all other living things, and in my opinion, all other living things means anything that contains water. Water is literally life. Water is conscious. Water holds memory. Yeah, and also non-living things, things that don't contain water, can also be part of our consciousness or our psyche, because, for example, when I was in Stonehenge, I was touching the stones and feeling the stones, and it was just triggering many memories, and it felt very familiar, like it had been there before. So it doesn't have to be just a living thing, it's also non-living. And it's a connection, that you have, whether it be with an animal or a plant or whatever it may be, another person. But it's deeper than a physical connection because you feel it. It's something that you can't put into words, but you feel it within your heart, within your body, within your mind. It's a universal truth. And sometimes trying to put these things into words, we have a dictionary that is limited by its vocabulary, and sometimes it's hard to find the words to explain something like consciousness. But it's a knowing. It's a knowing that all animals, it's a knowing that all plants and people, they feel what you feel, and you feel what they feel. This is known as karma. This is what you feel if you project love or something else onto someone. You feel it directly because that's the energy that you're transmitting, and it has a direct effect on the environment around you. So whatever it is that you're feeling is actually having a direct effect. Your heart scientifically puts out a electric pulse, an electric field, and people around you can literally feel your field, your electric field, because that's what you're putting out. And the brain is receptors, it's neurons, and it's electricity, it's firing, and that can pick up on that as well. So that's basically my beliefs on consciousness. In a few minutes, I'm just going to go back and read through the comments again. Stonehenge experience is one of the biggest conscious I've ever lived. Yes, me too. Beautiful experience. Darren, when I was walking in my local woods the other day, I could feel old life from the energy around me. Yeah, I mean, the trees, they are alive. I have the plant next to me that's playing the music. For anyone who came late, the music in the background is coming from a plant, and the plant has two electrodes, one on the leaf and one in the soil, in the roots. And what it does, the electrodes pick up the pulses from the plants, and through the machine, through an algorithm, they convert that into sound. And this plant I bought today, when I first hooked her up, she wasn't making any sound. It took her about half an hour to start making sound, and they were just little sounds. And now she's just singing, and she's found her voice. Feeling the same vibration you produce, consciousness and spirituality together. Yes, we're all feeling, and yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you, Serena. And I'll just go on to Christ consciousness, and how it differs a little bit from consciousness, in my opinion. So first of all, Christ consciousness is a connection and a knowing that you are equal to all else. You are not above anything, and you are not below anything. You are just completely balanced and completely equal, and that's what we are. There is no good and bad. There just is, and that's all there is. It's an unconditional love that begins with the self and extends to all. So we need to learn to love ourselves before we can love anybody else truly, in the sense of the word. And when you can love yourself and you're comfortable in yourself, then you can really share that with people, because you hold that vibration. Love is a vibration, and when you hold that vibration, people can feel it, and they're magnetized to it. Like it's and I'm drawn to people that are holding that vibration as well. So it's an unconditional love. Yeah, there's no ill will in Christ consciousness. There's no payback. There's no judgment. There's none. It doesn't matter what your beliefs are. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter how you've been brought up. It doesn't matter what the person next door is doing. But there is no judgment. There can be no judgment. In Christ consciousness, there's pure compassion, for all beings. There's forgiveness because there's no judgment. I mean, there really doesn't even need to be forgiveness. But I mean, even if someone's done the most horrific thing to you, in that state of consciousness, you are aware of why that energy is behaving like that. You can see why they're behaving like that, or that energy is behaving like that, and you can actually forgive and not hold on to any of that energy. There's equality, absolutely equality again. Comes to no judgment. There's truth. Everything is just truth. It doesn't matter where it comes from or what it may bring about, but truth is just a universal truth, and that's all there is. There is no grey area. You just you speak and you be what it is that you are. There is unity, absolutely, just complete unity. There is love. Love is the all-encompassing word, which I'm going to say a few times, but that is just love and acceptance for all beings, for all circumstances, for everything that comes your way, for everything that leaves your way. There is just love and acceptance. And there's the ability to see the whole organism as a part of you. And when I mean the whole, I mean not just you and your family, I mean your community, I mean your country, I mean your planet, your fellow human beings, and maybe even extraterrestrial, maybe, it's all-encompassing, it's universal. And there's trust. In a state of this consciousness, there must be universal trust, and trust that everything that happens to you is part of your divine purpose and part of your plan, because there is a reason for everything. It may not be apparent or clear at the time, but trust is a must. Big one is cross consciousness. It doesn't mean that you don't have obstacles in your life. It doesn't mean that you're not learning along the way, because we never stop learning. That's why we're here. We are information receptors, and we are here to gather information, to learn, and to pass that information on. It doesn't mean that you're perfect in every way. It doesn't mean that you don't make mistakes. It doesn't mean you don't get hurt emotionally. But again, it just means that you have the ability to understand and to process how energy works, why it's working that way, and being able to rise above taking it personally and just accept it for what it is and learn from it. It's getting a little bit chilly out here. I'm starting to shake a bit. I'm in Melbourne, so it's a little bit cold. It's been a beautiful day. It's been very sunny. Christ consciousness. Another thing I believe it's using those lessons that we learn, those very valuable lessons that we've learned throughout our life, and will continue to learn, and using those lessons for the betterment and the evolution of mankind and the planet. It's a deep knowing of where you come from, what you are, who you are, and why you're here. Yeah, there's no question. You just know, and you just follow the path that's been provided for you. So that's all my notes on the Christ consciousness. I'm going to read through the comments now. Let's see here. Darren said, I was watching a program the other day about how plants can pick up psychic energy. They can tell your intention to harm them. And what he means by psychic energy, I believe what he means by psychic energy is basically psyche. Psychic comes from the word psyche, and psyche is the mind. That's all it is. It's no spiritual term, but that's what it is. And as we think and we feel, we emote these certain vibrations, and that's what the plants are picking up on. And yes, they do pick up on people's intentions. Serena, it made me think a lot. Christ consciousness. I am not Catholic and I am not Christian in the common and structured meaning of that, but thinking about Jesus Christ. Sorry, well, that's a long one. Thinking about Jesus Christ, well, I can tell you all, you have the same powers within you as Jesus Christ. Absolutely. Hey, Dusty. Notice how the plant just stopped singing for a moment then when Dusty started barking. Hey, bud, it's alright. It's alright. Hey, take it easy, bud. Yeah, exactly right, Serena. Everybody has that consciousness within them. It's just a matter of finding it or remembering it and bringing it to fruition. And she's speaking about Jesus and God in the religious sense, and the word God for some people is a religious term. So I'll use the term divine creator as opposed to God. And Jesus, if we look at what made Jesus Christ, how did he get the title? It was the way he made people feel. It was the knowledge that he shared. It was his selflessness through his understanding that we are all one. And the healing that he done for people, and that healing wasn't by some outside source. That was the healing that he was teaching was from within people. He never preached to hold the power himself. What I believe is that each individual person has the power to heal themselves and to reach that state of consciousness or enlightenment. How did he become to be like that? I believe because his consciousness was so in tune with his environment, with nature, and he just lived how he felt was the right way to live. You know, he lived true to himself, and he could not deny his connection and his quest. He shared his knowledge, his energy and his love freely to all beings, and there's no exceptions. Another thing that came to my attention when we speak about Christ, and what I actually believe Christ was or is, was basically a level of consciousness that a certain man held, and that consciousness and that information and that vibration he held was coming from, I believe, from our sun. Our sun is the giver of life. It's, you know, it brings life to all our plants, to us. We eat the plants, or the animals that eat the plants, which the sun has provided the information and the nourishment we need. So yeah, I mean, he was basically a spokesperson for the sun, if you will. Yeah, and he was about raising consciousness in people, and that's what he was here to do, and that's why he was probably persecuted, because at the time maybe certain organisations didn't want the people to have this awareness or this knowledge or this connection to themselves and to nature, because once you have that connection to yourself and to nature, and once you realise and you know where you come from, then you know everything else is smoke and mirrors, just about, you know. And we're here to enjoy life, and that's what we're here to do. So let's enjoy it while we can. One thing I learned on my travels was the preconceived ideas that people hold about the return of Christ or the second coming, or, you know, I've watched a lot of videos and heard a lot of people speaking about it. And what I've learned is that a lot of these people, they have these ideas, maybe where he's going to come from, you know, what country, or what does he look like, or what's his religion, does he have a religion, is he male, is he female, black, white, is he gay or straight, you know, all these things people offered to me directly or indirectly. And I believe that in order to reach the state of consciousness or Christ consciousness, then you cannot hold any preconceived ideas. You have to accept what is presented to you at the time, in whatever form it comes, whatever the person may look like, wherever they come from, whatever their background, whatever their history. But in order to be that consciousness, you have to accept it, and that's it. There is no preconceived ideas. It's a consciousness. It's a collective consciousness. It's not one being. It's not an individual. It's a collective. So any preconceived ideas or anything, then I personally have none, and I just accept what it is that comes, and that's what I share. Yeah, that's almost it. maybe I can just talk about how, Darren, is it like empathy? Empathy, yeah, empathy is just feeling what something else is feeling, exactly. But not to a point that you have your energy affected or drawn out by that empathy. You know, you can be empathetic with somebody and understand what they're going through and feel what they're going through, but you also have to have the awareness to know that whatever it is they're going through at that stage is part of their journey, it's part of their life path, and it's part of the lessons that they're learning. Serena, we should use this knowledge with unconditional love and spread it. Absolutely. Yeah, Dusty's having a chat. Hey, Dusty. Hey, Raven. Hello. Serena, yes, sorry for my words, but since English is not my mother tongue, sometimes I don't use the right terms. No, you're doing very well, Serena. Your English is very good. Maybe better than mine. So, yeah, accept and yeah, your English is beautiful. Raven, unity, yes, unity. Unity, unity, unity. That is everything. Serena, sacred masculine light. Jesus was not the last one. No, he wasn't the last one. There's going to be many more to come. Darren, did you know we get the head movement for the word yes from the movement of the sun, and the name Jesus means yes in the sun? I didn't know that. Thank you, Darren. Hey, John. Raven, the Christ consciousness grid was activated on the 21st of the 12th of the 12th. 21st of December 2012, I believe that was the end of the Mayan calendar and the beginning of the new age of consciousness. Correct me if I'm wrong, maybe even the new age of Aquarius. I believe we moved into a new sign. And I also think the planet was moving through the galactic plane, which the galactic plane has a certain vibration. As the Earth moves through that, we are affected by that vibration. Whether we realize it or not, we're all affected by that vibration. There is no escaping. So yeah, December 21, 2012 was a big day. Beverly, yes, I've had to learn the empathy path of not taking on others' problems. Yeah, it's a big one. It really is challenging not to be affected by other people's energy, because some people have such strong energy that, yeah, it's as an empath, it's very hard not to feel that, and it's a lesson that I'm still learning to deal with, and to not get drawn into that. But again, once, you know, when we're really centered and we're really standing in our own power, then we don't get affected by that. You know, like when I'm in my usual practice of meditation and I'm doing yoga and I'm surfing and I'm looking after my body and my mind through nutrition, and I'm doing breathing. You know, all these things, they're all tools to help us to center ourselves and realign ourselves and keep our mind balanced and keep us in our own power. So all these things very, very helpful and highly recommended. Hey Fernando, happy birthday, bro. Can't wait to see you, man. I thought to be less empathetic, you had to be so hard, but I'm learning this is not necessary. I don't want to be hard, but I also don't want to suffer others' passage. No, it's just about being centered in yourself through practice, and it takes time and it takes work to really center yourself. But when you are centered, You're not affected by that. Raven, we aligned with the galactic center. Yep, December 21, 2012. So that was a big alignment for the planet. You know, and this isn't made up. This is just what's happening. Raven, bringing new divine energies from Prime Creator. Absolutely. Darren, I have a problem with my empathy. I find it hard to separate the emotions people have for me and the emotions they have for others. I find it hard to separate the emotions people have for me, the emotions they have for others. I think, yeah, it just comes back to being centered, but you should be able to feel, you should just know, you know, other people's feelings about you. You should be able to pick up on that. You don't need to be told. That's just within you. My friend is very religious and I felt guilty not responding to her constant belief. Now I try to accept that's her belief and not mine. That's right, you know, and everybody has their beliefs and everybody has, well, some people have their religions, and my understanding of religions, you know, we have so many different religions around the world, but ultimately and fundamentally, they all come back to the one divine creator. They're all based on the one divine creator, and the divine creator is not separate from you. You are part of that. So one thing that I just personally don't agree with religion is, or religions that teach, you know, external powers and external sources of God or whatever they want to call it. You know, to teach that that's something external from ourselves, I believe, is taking away the power from ourselves. But it's my belief that we all come from the divine creator. We're all part of that consciousness, that one consciousness, there's one intelligence. It's like a web that connects the whole universe, and we're all part of that. You know, we all come from the Big Bang or wherever it is you believe we come from, but fundamentally we're all from the same place, and we all store the same information. Hey Jade. Raven, those amazing Christians we met at the crop circle at Hackpen understood the divine love and Trinity. Very open-minded, intelligent people, absolutely. And again, there is no, you know, there's no separation through religion. I believe, you know, whatever it is that you believe in, it all comes back to the one and the same, and that's where we all come from. Beverly, to be honest, Lucas, I'm really suffering with the energy at the moment. It's very magnetic as I feel it in my body. It passed for a while, or at least got better. Is there anything I can do, Lucas, to help me? Is there anything I can do, Lucas, to help my body? Not many understands the energy affecting your body, but I'm a prime example, believe me. Thank you for your answers. Beverly, thank you for your vulnerability and for sharing on this video, and everyone else that's shared as well. Thank you. Like, I think the best thing, Bev, that you can do is really, you need to put the time in, and you need to meditate. You need to get into nature, and you need to be walking around with your shoes off. You know, go and sit in nature, put your back up against the tree, and don't take your phone with you. You need to get away from electronics. You need to get away from the house. You know, the house is full of electronics. You need to disconnect from all of that, and you need to go and be in nature, and you need to make it a regular practice. Yoga as well. Do things you enjoy, and really make the time for yourself to do these things. And but yeah, I mean, we can all know what it is we need to do to correct ourselves or to balance ourselves, but until we actually put it into practice, then the knowledge is useless. You know, you need to take that knowledge and you need to implement it daily, because the energy is very strong at the moment. There's a lot of energy, and it's yeah, it's an interesting time. Tara, collective consciousness, we're all connected, absolutely. Beverly, magician, lol. Raven, to Beverly, you need more hematite on your Bev. Yeah, get some protective crystals and wear them, carry them around with you, put them in your room. Get a salt lamp as well, put that in your house. Raven, electromagnet collapsed is a new disease. What's that? Electromagnet collapse is a new disease that will be understood in the next 10 years. We are frying our minds. Yeah, absolutely, holding phones up to our minds. You know, we live in this age of Wi-Fi, of mobile phones, of TV, radio. You know, the amount of things that are flying through the air that we don't see is unbelievable. You know, and that sort of reminds me of an example. You know, it's like, what if I told you could have a connection with somebody on the other side of the world, an instant connection, and you could see them and you could speak to them, and you could, you know, you don't even have to be in the same room, but you can connect with another person on this level, you know, instantly. Well, that's the age that we're in right now. It's called a mobile phone. You know, we can literally communicate to the other side of the world instantly. That is information and energy, and we're not transferring something material here. We're transferring something metaphysical, for lack of a better word, but we're transferring an energy or a frequency, and that is what's being received on the other side of the world. So I hope that puts some clarity. Yeah, go to the sea, Bev. You really need to make time for yourself, because you know, there's not much you can do for others unless you're centered in yourself. You know, you need to work on yourself first. If you want to be an example for people, you have to be the change that you want to see. Ooh, so it's getting a bit chilly out here. I'm gonna see if I can. I was about to turn off the plant or the stereo, but he just stopped. Oh, he's back on now. Let's see if I give him like a little. I just touched him on the leaf there, and he stopped again. So you can almost see how. I'll see if I can. She stopped again. I'll just see if I can give you an example of the plant if she starts to play again, of how they interact with people. And this is something I do in my workshops, is conscious connection of the plants, or music of the plants. And the machine, if anyone's interested, comes from Damanhur in Italy, and it's called Music of the Plants. Beautiful machine. But I'm just going to interact with the plant and see if she'll react. And now that I'm trying to show you on the camera, she's not going to do it probably. I'm just going to light this incense. Yeah, Music of the Plants, amazing machine and concept. And well done to the people at Damanhur that came up with this thing. Oh. So just going through a couple more of the comments. Darren, technology is great, but I do think it has stunted the evolution of the mind slightly. Yeah, technology is amazing, you know, how far we've come and what we've achieved. And used in the right ways, you know, it's a great tool, and it allows us to share information and messages with each other. But it has its place, and we need to be mindful about how we use it and what we subject ourselves to and our families to. For example, you know, I had this Music of the Plants machine going up in Coffs Harbour, and one of the leads I had running under a succulent that I had. And after I left the machine on for 2 days, the current that was going under the plant, the plant died. You know, I can't put it down to the current going under the plant, but that's what I think it was, so I'm going to do a test on that as well. But just be mindful of the electronics and that sort of stuff. Anyway, I'm getting onto another topic, so I'm just going to cut that off there. Scott Priost, hey brother, hope you're well. Hey man, you too. Can you give me an example of a daily practice I could do to work on myself spiritually? Yeah, so meditation for one, obviously, this is like everyone says meditation, but why I say meditation is because my feeling on the matter is that when we meditate, we still the mind to a level that allows our brain to stop. And what happens when we stop is we stop with all the external noise. And what that allows is it allows our brain to pick up other signals and other energies that may be around us at all the time, or maybe trying to get in, you know, information. So meditation, in order still the mind in order to receive that information, and also to transmit it. It's a give and take. It goes both ways. Yoga, I believe, because when we align our bodies in certain ways, it allows the energy to flow, you know, through us in a natural state. It allows our energy centers to move that energy through in a natural way. It's also very good for grounding our energies. And in order to evolve spiritually or come in more spiritual, we need to be grounded. Because if we're always in our mind, we can't receive, we can't get in contact. We need to still the mind, we need to ground in order to receive that information. Another one I speak about is breath work. Now breath work, I'm not speaking about yogic breath work, and that definitely has its place, but the breath work that I've been facilitating is designed to stimulate the pineal gland and the pituitary gland. And the pineal gland sits in the centre of the brain, and what we do when we breathe in a certain way is we release DMT. DMT, dimethyltryptamine, is also known as the spirit molecule, because it basically takes off a blindfold, and you can interact and experience the energy around you that you can't experience with your five senses. I hope that answers your question, Scott. Serena, communication is possible also without words, without any phone, also in the other side of the world. I experienced it. Yeah, absolutely, Serena. Now, and there's been studies done, so I'm just trying to keep it understandable for an analytical mind. But you know, there's been studies done by certain organisations, well-known organisations, that have done research on telepathy and you know, and they found that it works. You know, it can be quite accurate. I think up to 80%. I may be wrong in that number. I'm not sure. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Another example of that is scientists have done an experiment where they had two separate what was it, molecules or organisms, or they were observing two atoms, and each time one atom was stimulated, the other atom would also respond in the exact same way at the exact same time. So the connection is there scientifically. Darren loves the sound coming from the plants. It's a beautiful, beautiful machine. I'll talk more about the plants another time. I won't keep this video going for too long because I've spoken about the spirituality and the consciousness and the Christ consciousness. If there's any more questions about any of those, shoot us a comment now. Yoga from the bottom to the top, one of the best ways for me to open my heart, mind and body and belly button. Yeah, absolutely, Serena. Serena's an amazing yoga teacher in Sardinia if anyone's there or going there. Scott, wow, thanks mate, interested in the breathing techniques you're talking about. Yeah, please come along, man, to a workshop next time. It really is an amazing experience, and that's just speaking about what it does in the brain, but also oxidizing the body, you know, hyper-oxidizing the body. And what we do when we oxidize the body is or by breathing fully, we stimulate the endocrine system as well, which is responsible for our hormones, for releasing hormones. So that helps to balance hormones in the body. And when we oxidize, we expand our cells, and what that does is it releases stuck energies or toxins in the body. So as we inhale, you know, this full oxygen, we're releasing toxins that we've held on to. And when we exhale fully from the lungs, we push all that air out. We're expelling all those toxins as well. So on many physical, scientific levels, this is, you know, it's an amazing tool. It's been around for thousands of years. It's nothing new. It's just not so widely known about. Alright, so if there's no more questions on spirituality or consciousness or Christ consciousness, I'm going to go inside because it's getting cold. So thank you all for watching and commenting and sharing and taking part. And yeah, it's a blessing to be able to share, and yeah, very, very grateful. So yeah, that's about it. I'm just trying to think if I'm just going to touch the plant. No, she's not stopping now. Anyway, well, there you go, she stopped. Yeah, so thank you all again. Namaste, love and light, and and truth, and talk to you all again soon. Take care, much love.